Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Operation Persian Freedom campaign for the A-10C II in DCS World, and welcome to Mission 11, Scud Alley. So, as has been going on throughout this campaign, the Iranians have been launching nighttime Scud attacks on the various US allies to the south of the Persian Gulf. And most of those have been getting shot down. The occasional one makes it through, and a Scud hitting a city centre does a lot of damage. And so we're under a lot of pressure to try and find these things and take them out. And so we have been rebased. We are going to meet up with a couple of other A-10s from our flight who have also been rebased well out to the west at Lavan Island. And then we're going to go hunting. Now, the issue with all of this is there is very low cloud cover, and for us to stand a hope of actually getting any eyes on any hidden Scuds, we're going to have to fly under that, and so we're at a lot of risk from Manpads and other ground-based AAA. Shouldn't be any radar in the area, but there's plenty of Manpads and the half-truck AAA, so definitely a threat. We're just to make a patrol of our little route labelled Copper, and we are to do as much damage to any Scuds on the way. We have complete weapons free here. We can engage absolutely anything that we see that looks of military value, and so a bit like the open-ended one we had before, but this time with a lot more threat to it. So let's jump in and see how it all went.
Command 2-1 holding waypoint 1. Copy, Steve. Maintain position. Me and Command 1-1. Wheels up. Command 2-1. Command 2-1. 1-1 and 3-1 approaching waypoint 1. Take the lead, Steve. We'll form on you. Hey, Davey. Thanks for flying my gear in this morning. That flight suit was getting a little right. No problem, Steve. Sounds like you had quite a full day yesterday. Yeah, you could say that, sir. Sorry I couldn't be there to help. Nothing to be sorry about, Davey. Oh, Steve, there is. Boss, you can't blame yourself. It's war. Shit happens. Well, I don't think about mono with some shit that happened. Anyway, let's drop it for now. So, Steve, how you finding the new digs at Lavan? Ronnie, we're sleeping in a tent next to the runway. Yeah, good point. You know, I almost got to sleep this morning. Yeah? Yeah, and then you and Davey landed. Sorry, Steve. You know, you could have at least bought some decent food with you. MRE's not to your taste, Steve. I don't mind them every now and again, but for every meal? Well, not a lot of space there at Lavan to store all your fancy English food, Steve. Now remember, Lavan is mostly special forces, and those guys don't care what they eat anyway. Aren't they supposed to fly out and shoot an antelope or something and then roast it back at base? You seen many antelope in Iran yet? No, come to think of it, I've not seen any animals at all. Not even a cow. Okay, flight, that's enough fun for now. Push to Overlord. 2-1 set. Set. Overlord, Command 1-1. Flight at 3 A-10s out of Lavan, inbound on Scud Alley.
Command 1-1, you're cleared to proceed. Angel 16, check back in around goal.
Copy all, Overlord. Okay, Steve. Lead is on in. Angel 16. Command 2-1. So, Giraffe fell really quickly. We're making good progress on the ground. We certainly are. With Giraffe taken, we got a straight shot now at Kerman, and from there, a much more open route to the northwest, and onto Tehran. So what do you reckon? Home by Christmas? What makes you think they'll send us home once we take Tehran? Oh, I don't know. Blind hope, I guess. Read your debrief from the action in Giraffe, and I think we're starting to see the real threat that Iran brings now. The IRGC? Correct. Loyal, fanatical, trained to fight a superior force, and not afraid to die for their cause. Yesterday you saw 2 sustained attacks by lightly armed ground forces in the face of heavy armor and air support. That's what we're going to be dealing with more as Iran's regular military is ground down.
Christ, and we were talking just yesterday there's still 250,000 IRGC in a gamut for.
So what do you reckon? Home by next Christmas? I heard the Special Forces back at Levant talking about an Iranian rebel group in the northeast. Do we know much about them?
A little. Translated, they call themselves New Dawn's Promise. They're a Sunni paramilitary group and they've emerged from the northeast, near the Afghan and Turkmenistan borders.
I didn't know there were many Sunnis in Iran.
Only about 10% of the population is Sunni. They've historically had a rough deal in Iran, just like the Shia have in some Sunni nations.
Do we know much about their numbers?
Estimates put them at around 5,000 or so right now. We think they're pretty well funded. We're not sure where from yet, but both Saudi and the Emirates are pretty deep pockets.
What do you reckon, boss? Do you think we'll end up supporting them in the air?
At this point, who knows? But I wouldn't rule it out. Okay, you're approaching Route Gold. Steve, check us back in with Overlord.
Overlord, good man flight checking in Route Gold. Any words, Overlord?
Gunman flight all is quiet right now. You're clear to enter search areas as fragged. You are weapons free within search areas on any hostile targets. Comms to follow. Tungsten to blue, copter red, steel to green.
Copy all, Overlord. Command 2 1 out.
Okay, gunmen. Switch comms to allocated freak and proceed to your search sectors. Keep UHF comms open at all times and stay sharp. Those mountains are high and the clouds low. Good luck.
3-1. Command 2 1.
So although the area is clear of conventional regular forces, there are several special ops teams on the ground. We don't know their exact location, but we do have comms for them, and we've been given the code sign Mike Zulu to interrogate them. They reply Whiskey Bravo, and then they can call us in on any targets that they've seen. So throughout this I'm going to be randomly doing Mike Zulu calls to see if there happen to be any ground units within radio contact.
Command 2 1, Mike Zulu, repeat Mike Zulu. Mike Zulu, repeat Mike Zulu.
Command 1 is Forge 5-2, Bravo.
Forge 5-2, any remarks?
With eyes on the convoy vehicles moving west, we cannot have this hostile. We're all out of Scuds away, but nothing for you today, Command 2-1.
Copy Forge 5-2, Command 2 1 out.
It doesn't take me too long as I'm patrolling before I come across my first AAA threat. There are a number in a small village that I approach first, and I figure these probably are going to be guarding something, so I may as well try and take them out so I can have a closer look. So lock them up on the targeting pod, and I do have laser guided rockets here and decide those are the best things. And so it's just a case of selecting the right weapon, heading towards the target, double check I'm within 5.5 miles slant range, so that's perfectly good, and just make sure I've got the laser lined up nicely and then fire it off while lasing, and then of course can turn away gently, making sure to keep the laser on the target. And as normal, while just keeping an eye on the target, turning a little bit just in case there's return fire from anything. Doesn't take long before the missile comes in, and direct hit. That is one less anti-air in the area. And where there's one anti-air, there's bound to be others, so let's keep scouting around, and before long pick something else up, zoom in, and it's another ZU-23 on the back of a truck, so pick that one out as my next target. So give myself a little bit of separation, not really too much, then roll back in, and at a slant range of about 3 miles I quickly fire one off, and then I can just turn gently away, keep the laser going, and wait for the missile to hit home. And once again, nice thing about firing at such short range, it really doesn't take long for the missile to hit, and we get another direct shack. Good kill there. Now, just because there seems to be quite a bit of activity around this village, I just call in to see if I can get contact with any ground forces.
Gunman 2-1, Mike Zulu, repeat Mike Zulu. Mike Zulu, repeat Mike Zulu.
And sure enough, the reply comes in, and we have something to do.
This is Forge 4-1, Whiskey Bravo, Whiskey Bravo.
Afternoon, Forge 4-1. You got anything for me?
We've got a possible hit, Gunman 2-1. We have eyes on a group of trucks under a bridge in a dry riverbed to our north. Stand by the grid.
Ready to receive?
Tree, Niner, Romeo, X-ray, Mike, Niner, 7, 2, 2, 1, 5, Niner, 2, 1, 6.
Copy Forge 4-1. You think it's a hiding spot?
That's affirmative, Gunman 2-1.
Okay, checking it out.
Oh, and Gunman 2-1, stay clear of the village south of that position. It's crawling with AAA.
Thanks, Forge 4-1. I'll let you know if I find anything. Gunman 2-1 out.
Now, this is just the other side of the ridge that I've been operating. That village they told us not to approach is the village I've been happily attacking for a while, so it's a bit of a waste. But anyway, as I keep turning north, eventually cross the ridge, and as soon as I do, get really nice view here of 3 trucks hiding under a bridge. And so these are our targets. They don't seem to be Scuds, but they are enemy military, so I decide that I'm going to engage. So I fly around a bit. The vehicles are hiding behind the bridge, or I'm under the bridge. And so I decide that I'm going to come along the length of the bridge because they're slightly off to either side of it, and that's probably going to give me the best approach without needing to worry about either diving straight down towards the valley floor or have to recover above over the mountain ridge. And so I head in here, lined up nicely, and then just give it a few sprays as I enter weapon range, not too worried here, and then recover afterwards and pull away. That is 3 fires burning, and so really good hits there, targets out.
Forge 4-1, negative on Scuds, but it looked like a prepared hiding position, so I took it out.
Copy all, Gunman 2-1. Good hunting today. Forge 4-1 out.
Now, while I was heading in towards that target, I did notice another of these ZU-23 trucks, and so I'd taken note of the position. So as I'm flying back over, I decided just before I depart the area, I may as well go back and take this guy out. And as normal, give myself some distance, roll around, start lasing, rocket away, and then gently turn away. And these laser rockets are my absolute favourite feature of the Tank Killer upgrade, and so here it goes, nice shack. That is yet another one gone. Then I decide I've just done enough damage in this area, I need to keep hunting for Scuds, and so continue on.
Gunman 2-1, Mike Zulu, repeat Mike Zulu. Mike Zulu, repeat Mike Zulu.
While heading along the route here, I'm just scanning along the road while making these repeated Mike Zulu calls to see if anything comes in, when I come across this little roadblock that seems to be entirely made up of anti-air defense. including Manpads, and I decided I should probably try and take this out. It's a threat to me, and it's a threat to any other planes in the area, so I decide to make it a bit of a priority. Now, I don't want to use too much munition here, but there does seem to be quite a lot of them. The Manpads have a fair amount of standoff capability. They've got a couple of ZU trucks there, and they've got an APC. Figure what I'm going to do is put a Maverick onto the APC, and hopefully the blast wave will take out all the nearby Manpads and maybe a couple of trucks at the same time. So turn away, give myself some distance. I don't want to get too close when dealing with Manpads. And so come in, lock up the target, rifle, and then turn away. I don't have to worry, this is just a IR rifle, so I don't need to worry about it hitting down. Don't have to worry about lasing. And then just a couple of seconds later, that went outstandingly well. Can see there one of the trucks is caught in the explosion and detonates. I think the other is damaged, and all 3 Manpads in the area go down, so really good efficient use of my weapons there. Just that lone truck to go now, and I decide that you know what, may as well laser rocket it. So as going with habit here, turn in, laser on, missile off at under 5 miles, and then just gently continue the turn. And shack.
This is Command 2-1, Mike Zulu. Say again, Mike Zulu.
And this time as I give our a Mike Zulu call, we get something a little bit more interesting.
Coming 2-1, this is Forge 6-3, Whiskey Bravo. Y'all looking for some action?
Always Forge 6-3, always. What you got for me, soldier?
Coming 2-1, bless their hearts. We got eyes on the prize.
Okay, Forge 6-3, give it to me.
We've been laid up here since this morning. We have eyes on a village in the valley west of Fruzabad. This place is crawling with armed fighters, defended by at least 6 AAA positions and portable SAM systems. There are also 7 large tents erected on the west side of the village. Housing for soldiers, we thought. Then about an hour ago, they dismantled the tents and rolled out 7 Scuds. Now I've seen it all.
Where are they now?
6 of them headed northwest up the road into the mountain pass. Should still be in there. Can't have gone far. Now, here's the kicker. 7 got stuck in the mud, still sat out there open in the village. That'll teach him to go off-road.
Why didn't they wait till dark to move?
Who knows, coming 2-1. Lucky for us, it's stupid, I guess. Okay, coming 2-1, stand by to receive target coordinates.
Ready.
Single Scud location is 3 9er Romeo X-ray Mike 4 0 2 9er 7 9er 3 1 1 6.
That's 39 Romeo, X-ray Mike, 40297 93116.
A-firm. Now if y'all track north up from that location, you'll pick up the main road. Follow this road west and you'll find the path the other 6 went into. You're clear to engage, coming 2-1. Good hunting.
Copy 463. You fellas stay safe down there. Command 2-1 out.
So I do get eyes on that target without any issues. It's right where the marker point was. See the Scud here that's stuck in the mud, surrounded by vehicles. Do see infantry nearby, so I just go ahead and make the assumption that this is going to be defended by Manpads, and so really would prefer to do some kind of standoff engagement here. Now, I do have Mavericks, but I'd prefer to keep those for moving targets. This is very much still And I don't really want to use the laser rockets because I'm afraid I'll have to get a little bit too close and I don't know where the air defences are. So I decide GPS bomb is actually the best option here, and make sure I get a good laser range before starting to climb. Then I just head up into the clouds. Above 12,000 feet the manpads can't get me, the ground AAA can't really affect me up there, and so I'm nice and safe and I can just drop this bomb in the middle of the cloud and let it drop and do its thing. So that's exactly what I do here, and then once I confirm the bomb has in fact come off, then turn away and start giving myself some distance before coming back out of the clouds to see what happened. I'm still in the clouds when the bomb hits home, but I do see a flash just coming through the TGP, and then we get a call in from the Special Forces.
Well, hot damn. Dumb bastards had us sitting there fully fueled. Wiped out half their village.
And sure enough, once I come out of the clouds and avoid going into the nearby mountain, I do nicely get eyes on target, and just everything in that area is just completely wiped clean. So I'm taking that as a very good strike there. So then it's time to hunt down the rest of the Scud convoy, so following the ground troops' instructions, I just look along the road to the west here. There's just a single road running west, so it's really easy to follow, and it does indeed go down into a gorge as described. And just as I'm getting there, I look over and can see here there's a series of vehicles there, and so this is the target. And now I just need to work out how to engage this. Is a bit tricky with it being in such a steep gorge, and I'm expecting some kind of air defense in the area. And decide that if I'm coming in along this angle along the road, a GPS bomb might do a good job. Again, these targets are stationary, so wanting to save the laser guided bombs for things that are moving. And so again, head in this time, really trying to keep an eye on the target a little bit better, heading in lower since I can't see any air defense, and then I pickle, and then start turning away to get myself clear and just wait to see what happens. And just going along here, I do see that the bomb has hit home. I've got good damage there, can see fires. I was hoping that destroying one would set off a chain of reactions and blow them all up, as it did with the last one, but in this case I'm not so lucky, so it still needs to do a lot more damage to these guys. So I figure, well, I took no anti-air attacks when I was going in for that bomb run, so maybe there isn't actually any anti-air near this site. And because these are Scuds, they are not very well armoured, so pretty good targets for chewing up with guns, nicely in a line, so I can just go along the road and give them a bit of a berting as I go along. That all seems like a good idea until I head in, and then almost immediately get a missile launch alarm, so immediately brake, start popping flares. I'm expecting this to be a manpad somewhere, and just try and stay alive, and get both missiles launched at me, and do get some ground fire there, probably from the APC at the head of the column. Do manage to evade all of that, start pulling myself away, just as I'm starting to think I'm safe, see a flash, another manpad has been launched, so have to dump flares and turn evasive again. But I managed to get away with that there, so decide to give myself some distance and then start thinking about what I'm going to do about this apparent abundance of manpads in the area. And since I saw where the missiles were coming from, it doesn't take me long to locate the 3 manpads just to the rear of the column. They seem to have disembarked when the column stopped. And so decide that, well, I may as well go in here for guns. I've had good success with guns from long range. As long as I keep an eye out for launches, I should be able to break away. And so decide this is the best, and if nothing else, firing at long range, some of the off rounds might well go ahead and hit the trucks ahead, which will be a win for me. So I go in, I give it a few bursts as I do, one at very max range, then another couple at more realistic ranges, and then break away left here, so that put the Sharp Valley Ridge in the way just to discourage more missile shots at me while my engines are towards the enemy. I don't actually get launched on during that initial pass, but then as I'm trying to give myself some distance and line up for the next one, I do get another missile alert, start dumping flares again, turn hard. Thankfully the missile does eat the flares here, and so I managed to live for another day. So that pass didn't really seem to do much to the actual manpads, they seem to be absolutely fine, but I did take out a load of the Scuds with the spray there. So I decided to come back in with a bit of a better angle here and have another go, really trying to put the HE Pipper, the lower of the two, on the manpads that I've got marked, and then happy that the armour-piercing rounds, which go a little bit further, will be hitting the various vehicles there. This time I'm waiting for them to launch before I pull away, and they don't seem to want to launch, so I end up getting really close. Do end up taking some hits as I go over just from gunfire, but do pull away there and recover. Here, just looking at my damage, managed to take out one of the manpads. The other guy is still fine though, so not done my job just yet, and there's still plenty of Scuds. So I go in once more, once again splitting the difference, trying to get the lower HE marker on the manpad, the upper AP marker on the rear Scud, which seems to be the only one still alive, and go in for one more pass, and this time I do get some good shacks.
463, Command 2-1, kill Scuds northwest of Firuzabad.
Alrighty, copy that, Gunman 2-1. Outstanding work. Godspeed.
Command 2-1, Mike Zulu, Mike Zulu.
So I do continue on my patrol route, do spot some kind of base up ahead, so heading towards it, but as I do, I get a panicked call out from behind.
Gunman 2-1, tower on the smoke trail. Missile near, missile near.
So I do just immediately start turning and dumping flares as I get that call out. DC missile trails, don't quite see where they're coming from though, but do manage to defeat them. Then do just spend a little bit of time around this area. I try and hunt down where these SAM sites are, but never get my eyes on them. I think they're individual manpads. Every now and then I do just get fired on, but in the end just decide to call it enough and continue along my route, deciding this little region here is just too heavily defended and there don't seem to be any Scuds there, so it's not worth me taking my time to try and find one random guy with a manpad. Now while I am trying to get away here, I do take a bit of a hit. I think this wasn't actually a direct hit. I think what happened is the missile exploded on flares just behind me. I got caught a bit in the shockwave. Really don't seem to have taken any real damage from this. Might have been some minor damage to the rear, but nothing important. And this is really what persuades me that I need to stop messing around here and just continue on. And once I push on past that SAM area, I do find another little roadblock on the road and decide that it's the hostile target and I should take it out. A couple of ZSUs, maybe some manpads around there, BTR in the centre. I decide that what I'm going to do is drop a bomb on the BTR and hope that I catch some of the ZSUs with the splash damage there. So out of GPS guided bombs, we do have a laser bomb, so decide to go in for that. Bit awkward with the low cloud cover, but there's not too much on the ground, so hoping this will do, so pickle away.
Al, pull up, pull up.
And before long, decent hit. BTR goes up, lots of splash damage in the surrounding area. That's good hit there. Now one of the ZSUs is destroyed in the blast, the other one does manage to make it away, and so I've still got some laser rockets, may as well use these just to finish this off nice and quickly, so fire one, and then laze and pull away. And once again, nice shack. Now here I do come across another one of these groups and decide that I'm running low on munitions, there might still be more primary targets here, I need to stop going after these targets of opportunity, and so just take a wide loop around them, avoiding the ZSUs and the manpads that are down there, and proceed on. As I continue along the valley, do round a corner and spot something on the TGP, so decide to call in Mike Zulu, and this time get an answer.
This is Command 2-1, Mike Zulu. Say again, Mike Zulu.
This is Forge 2-4, Whiskey Bravo.
Forge 2-4, passing through your sector. You got anything for me?
Just eyes on an Iranian camp. No sign of Scuds here, though. We'll hop back on the net if we see anything. 2-4 out.
Wait, Forge 2-4. What sort of camp?
There's an outpost on the road with some light armor and AAA. There's a road that runs out of the outpost to the north along a spur. The spur road leads to a pair of camps around a half mile to the north of the outpost.
This camp got a bunch of tents?
That's affirmative, Gunman 2-1. Is something up?
Tents, Forge 2-4. It's the tents. Iranians have been using them as camouflage for the launchers.
Well, shit me, Gunman 2-1. You'll find the outpost southeast of Surge Point 7. Light them up.
Wilco, Forge 2-4.
Now, I'm running very low on precision munitions here, and so decide that what I'm going to do, since I really want to take out all of those tents, I figure that the cluster munitions that I have are probably really good for that, but to get a good cluster munition drop I have to go in quite low to make sure that I'm well within target parameters. And the issue there is there does appear to be quite a lot of AAA in this little village to the south, and this is definitely within range to really bother me if I am making low passes. So decide what I'm going to do is use my precision munitions to disable this anti-air sight, and then I'll use the cluster munitions on the tents. Now I do still have my laser Maverick as my major standoff weapon. I decide I'm going to fire it at this BTR here because that is the most heavily armoured thing, and a 500-pound Maverick explosive going on off in the middle of this base is probably going to be a really good way of taking out all the nearby manpads, which will make this a lot safer for me to pursue. And so line it up, try and lock it up, realise that I'm not lasing, so then have to start lasing, but then finally do get the Seeker headlock and rifle. And then again, because this is a laser Maverick, I do need to keep the TGP on the target, so I can only make gentle turns, but doing my best to keep this online. And sure enough, doesn't take overly long before the Maverick comes in. Direct hit there, taken out the BTR, did a lot of damage to things around it. And one more ZSU, one more laser rocket fired, and then a couple seconds later, one more kill for the tally. And that should be all of the air defences there sorted out, so now I can go for these tents without worrying about counterfire. So I do have this CBU-97, it is a dumb fire bomb, but it is a anti-tank cluster bomb, so it seems pretty good against these supposedly hidden Scuds. So head in to pickle that.
Al, pull up, pull up.
And it does take a worryingly long time for the cluster munitions to actually deploy. I always think these have failed to go off with this thing and then suddenly get lots and lots of flashes. And as the flashes go off, it does seem that I've got pretty good hit here, mostly targeting the base, getting nice load of destruction soon after. And so I decided, well, may as well just use guns for this last one. They're only tents slash Scuds. Either way, guns should clear them out. And so head in for that, fire a couple of bursts at one tent, move to the next, and then all of a sudden, bang, the entire thing goes up.
That did the job, Gunman 2-1. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Forge 2-4 out.
So it's another Scud battery knocked out. Unfortunately, that is a huge amount of munitions used up. Just going to bite me in the arse momentarily. But for now, as I'm continuing on my route, we do hear in from my other flights. I've had a bit more of a quiet time.
Gunman 3-1, leave. Go ahead, 3-1. No joy here, boss. I'm Egress in a silver.
And just as I'm thinking that this might be the mission wrapped up and I just have to RTB, we do get one last call-in.
Forge 3 to Warthog pilot, repeat, Forge 3 to Warthog pilot.
Forge 3, this is Command 2-1. Authenticate Mike Zulu.
Whiskey Bravo. Boy, my squad, you have to be fast and improved, Gunman 2-1. We got situations developing down here.
Give me a sit rep, Forge 3.
Delhi on Scud position, 9 miles northeast of Jerome. Missiles are fueled and being prepped for launch as we speak. We got 6 launchers over here, and we're defended with AAA.
You see any SAM threats?
Just a couple of solar mounted systems, Gunman 2-1.
Okay, Forge 3, let's do this. What's the target location?
Target is Ridge. Creed 9 Romeo. Yankee Mike. 6, 8, 3, 6, 5. 6, 6, 6, 1, 5.
Copy location, Forge 3.
Target is free of any civilian risk. Engage at will, Gunman 2-1.
Wilco, Command 2-1 out.
That call-in is really quite bad news because I'm pretty much out of everything. I've got about 400 rounds of cannon ammo left, I've got 1 laser-guided bomb, and that is it, which is not really what I need to take out a defended Scud site. Luckily the game does give me the option to call in my wingman, and so I absolutely do here in the hopes that he can come and save the day.
Command 3-1, 2-1. Right, if you've got weapons and fuel, I could use your help over here. Scud position, northeast of Jeroen.
Copy, Steve. I'm en route now.
I do get eyes on the position, but unfortunately before I can even think about engaging, we get another call in to make things even worse.
Gunman 2-1, Forge 3.
Go ahead, Forge 3.
Got a Hilo conducting what looks like a search operation to our east.
Is your position compromised?
Not yet, but it looks like they're searching hard for something. Don't know if they picked up our scent or not. Let's not take any chances.
Copy, Forge 3. I'll attempt to engage.
Copy, Gunman 2-1. Looks like an MIA. Approximately 5 miles east of the Scud position.
Command 2-1.
Gunman 2-1, the launchers are rigged in the missiles. Time is running out.
So here I'm in increasingly bad shape. I make a big mistake here. I decide that, okay, I can't go for the laser-guided bomb on the Scud site. Too many manpads that are visually ID'd in the area. They would just rip me apart if I tried to fly directly overhead at such low level. And so I decide the only standoff capability I have is my cannon, and so at max range I just spray every last bullet I have into the center of the formation, hoping that it does enough damage to enough Scuds that something might happen. And unfortunately, it really doesn't. I certainly do damage here, but nothing is destroyed. This is an absolute waste of 400 rounds of ammo that I really could have used a little bit later. Now, I do get eyes on the helicopter quite quickly here. Thankfully, he is being very nice and has his anti-collision lights on, which makes finding him a lot easier. Unfortunately, without cannon, I am just down to my 2 A9s. Decide that I may as well have a go with those. Fortunately here, I let rip at quite a long range. And then, of course, this being a hip, he just dumps an incredible load of flares, and the missile absolutely takes it. That is 1 missile trashed. Trying to maneuver around to come from a rear aspect here, but it really goes wrong. He is turning too tightly for me. So I end up coming in from another side aspect shot here, do fire 1 away. But I'm not sure if this was even the flares or if it was just too high aspect, too close range for the missile to get proper seeker, and so that's my other missile trashed. I am now not in a good shape. Now if I had cannon, this would be fine. I could absolutely follow on taking out helicopters with the GAU-8 is relatively easy. The sheer amount of lead you can put into one of these things is enough even to take out a HIP without too much problem. Problem is, I wasted all of my cannon ammo. The only thing I've got left is my laser-guided bomb. I do make attempts at trying to get a TGP lock on this helicopter so that I can laser it for the laser-guided bomb in the hope that, yeah, the bomb probably won't hit the helicopter, but if it hits the ground under the helicopter, it'll probably count as a kill. But I never quite managed to get it off, and I end up losing track of the helicopter as things start to get darker. Unfortunately, even with my wingman coming in, he isn't quite quick enough to take out all of the launchers, and one of the Scuds is fired.
Government 2-1, we have a launch. Repeat, we have a launch.
Shit.
And as I'm having to put my plane into night mode here, turning on the various lights, things just get even worse with the next call.
Government 2-1, that helo is still active. It's offloading troops 1 mile southeast of our position.
Forge 3, did they have your location?
I don't know, but we're not planning on waiting to find out. We're going to relocate. Need you to cover our movement. Do you have the ammo to support?
I do debate here, but decide that I still have bomb. Bomb works well against infantry troops because they're easier to target than helicopters, so say I'm okay with this.
Affirmative, Forge 3.
Okay, Government 2-1, we're going to break cover on your stay and run like crazy. As we do, I need you to unleash hell behind us. We're going to be exposed, Government 2-1. We're relying on you. Our location is 1.5 miles north of Scud position. Drop the gearing smoke on our position.
Copy. Stand by for my signal.
Now at this point 3-1 has completely taken out the remaining Scuds, so I do call him in to support with this lot.
Gunman 3-1, we've got a Special Operation Force team down here and need help. I need you to support. Engage infantry northeast of Scud position. 1.
Here I failed to locate the infantry, can't see them anywhere here even with either night vision or the IR sensor on the pod, but my wingman is in the area, so decide just to let the Special Forces team make their move, and then hopefully I'll be able to spot the enemy.
Forge 3, move.
Moving, keep us covered.
And sure enough, as soon as they do start to move, tracer fire starts lighting up the night, and I can see exactly where these hostiles are, so I know where to turn in with my 500-pound bomb. Unfortunately, there are multiple groups, and so I won't be able to take them all out with one, and this isn't exactly an ideal turn-in, but I decide time is of the essence, do a not great release. But it's okay, this is laser guided, it will recover, and I'm shooting at soft targets with 500 pounds of explosives, so I figure it should be okay. So that bomb does go off in the group, takes out one of the groups almost entirely. There is still the other one, but that is at least a lot fewer guns being pointed at the retreating group. Wingman doesn't particularly seem to do much, but he does at least linger in the area. I am now 100% Winchester, running a little bit low on fuel, so decide that I need to start heading back. And we do get some updates as things go on.
Keep it going, Government 2-1. We're halfway there. We're going to make it to the truck.
And then, very nicely, we do get the good news just as we're approaching base.
Government 2-1, we're in the truck heading for extraction. We really owe you on this one. Forge 3 out.
Gunman 1-1, 2-1, egressing Silver and returning to Levan.
Copy, Gunman 2-1. I'll be right behind you. See you on the ground.
So yeah, that one's definitely a bit of a mixed bag. I managed to get 37 ground kills in the end, including, I believe, 8 infantry with that last laser-guided bomb, so it definitely did help out the strike team, but I was definitely a bit too cavalier with my munitions early in the mission. I really should not have been engaging those anti-air sites. I was really treating this a bit more like one of those kill box missions where I was just going after any high-value target, Really should have been saving my munitions just to hit the ones that I really needed to get at the SAMs, and then just keeping my distance from everything else. So if I had more munitions at the end, then that would have been much easier to engage those Scud launchers. If I'd kept some of my gun back towards the end, I could have taken out that hip, which would have then meant that I wouldn't have to worry about giving cover to the ground troops. The ground troops wouldn't have had to actually extract. So yeah, definitely could have done better, but still 37 kills is a lot of kills. Good mission, very fun mission. Just need to maybe watch my trigger finger a little bit there. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. I really did, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Until then, remember to be kind to yourselves and everyone else. Cheers.